Hi, welcome to Grumpy's Workshop. I'm Dave, and in today's video I'm going to be making my wife a drawing board. My wife's just got into 5D diamond art, which involves putting loads of little diamonds, not real ones of course, onto a picture, and then the end result is you end up with this masterpiece. But obviously she needs a drawing board that tilts up that she can work on. So she's asked me to make her one, and that is what I'm going to try and do today. So if you want to see how that turns out, stick around. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. A big hello to all my usual subscribers. Welcome to all my new subscribers. And if you're not yet subscribed, then what are you playing at? Go down, hit the subscribe button and tap that little bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I upload a new video, which I'm planning on doing every week. So if woodwork is your sort of thing, subscribe. So the first job was to cut down some leftover MDF, which I'm going to be using for the main part of the drawing board. I've also decided to incorporate some storage into the design so my wife can keep all the little bits and pieces safe. Then I found some leftover pieces of wood from an old IKEA table, so I needed to mark these up and cut them down to size, and these were going to be used to make the edge of the drawing board. So with the pieces cut down to length, the next job was to cut them in half, and I did that on a table saw. The drawing board's going to look similar to what a briefcase would look like, in the sense that it's going to open and close and you can store stuff inside. Now I was very careful when laying out the pieces because I wanted them orientated in the right places so the individual pieces matched up with the original half. Then the pieces could be pre-drilled, countersunk and screwed in position. Here you can see what I meant by looking like a briefcase. Now it's time to mark out where I want to put the hinges, and the hinges I'm going to be using were some old door hinges which I had lying about. Feel free to mock my appalling chiseling skills. I need a bit more practice with these hand tools, but I got the job done in the end and the hinge fitted nice and flush. So once the hinges were sitting flush, they could be screwed into position. I've left them a little bit loose so I can make any adjustments needed. The next job was to rip down another piece from the IKEA table, and this will be used as the support to hold the drawing board at an angle. I needed to round the edges over, and I haven't got a disc sander at the moment, so I just used a washer to draw round and then took it over to the bandsaw and cut the curves on the end. After the ends were rounded off, I then needed to drill holes in the end, which a dowel will be placed in, and this will join the two sides of the support together. I was very careful not to get any blowout, so I drilled part the way through from one side and then flipped the piece over and drilled through from the other side. Now this worked perfectly on the first one. Then I put the two pieces together so I could drill the holes in the same places. As you can see, the second one didn't quite go to plan and I ended up splitting the wood. Nothing a bit of CA glue won't fix though. Then it was just a case of positioning the support where I wanted, drilling the holes, and then I used a slightly larger drill bit in order to make the hole slightly bigger on the outside so I could countersink the head of the bolt. I also needed to reduce the thickness of these pieces because the bolts weren't quite long enough and I couldn't get the nut on the end. So by taking a couple of mil off, that meant I had enough room to tighten the nut up. And this bandsaw never ceases to amaze me. When cutting thin strips, considering it's a cheap bandsaw with the stock blade, the cuts come out amazing, as you can see. And the piece I'm fitting on here is just a support for the work, and I'm just simply pre-drilling, countersinking and screwing this to the lower side of the table. Now I'm just attaching some small pieces of wood which will act as stops for the upright, and it allow me to tilt the table at different angles. Here I'm using some soft wood for the stops, but later on in the video you'll see I changed it to solid oak. This should give you an idea of how it all works and the different angles you can have it at. Then I had one of my brainwaves to use this piece of fabric from the back of an old headboard to encase the sides of the drawing board in. As you can see, after doing one piece, I thought it looked quite good, so decided to take it all apart and cover up all the edge pieces. Feel free to laugh at my poor upholstery skills. I've never ever done anything like this before. It was just a case of cutting the piece down to size, pulling it as tight as I could on the bottom edge, and then using my electric staple gun to tack the pieces in place so the staples were invisible. Then I could mask up the edges of the fabric and apply a couple of thin coats of varnish to the rest of the drawing board. Now it was just a case of reassembling the support. Righty tighty Dave, lefty loosey. The second to last job was to attach the solid oak cubes for the upright support. You can see how the stops work and allow you to choose between the two positions. The final job was to steal two catches off of my chisel box and attach those to the drawing board. Eventually I want to put my chisels on the wall so I don't need the catches. The screws did go in a little bit skew width, but they were so tiny I had a hell of a job trying to hold the things. But the most important thing is they work. Oh, and I nearly forgot, the finishing touch was to apply my wife's initials to the corner of the drawing board, just to add that little personal touch. And I never noticed just how much my hands shake. That's going to wrap this video up, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. As you can see, it turned out quite nice, and she can either have it at that height, or if she doesn't want it quite so steep, it can be adjusted to that. The only thing I was a bit gutted about is the fact that obviously we spin it round a bit. As you can see, a couple of nice little clips, and with the black material that come from the headrest, not bedrest, it looks quite nice. But the only problem I had with that is that I didn't have enough to do the back two pieces, but I'm still quite happy with it. So, and don't forget, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already to the channel, then hit that subscribe button and the bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I upload new videos. So until the next video, that's a wrap. Cheers for watching, guys. Don't forget, give the video a thumbs up.